Today is a day to speak up, okay? Today is the day to use your throat chakra. It is a very, 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 very good day to be clear, concise, and very transparent about how you are feeling. Now, granted, I'm not saying lash out. I'm not saying cuss anybody out. I'm not saying get into arguments. Be very, very clear. Hey, I'm feeling this way. When this happens, it makes me feel like this. I'm noticing X, Y, and Z. It makes me feel 1, 2, 3. That kind of communication, okay? And if you're noticing that somebody's getting defensive, they're not listening to you, it's very, very just unproductive conversation, cut it off at the knees. I have been seeing an insane amount of Blue Jays today. Blue Jays are all about courage, clear communication, protection, and mental sharpness, okay? They are very, very vocal birds, highly vocal, and fiercely protective of their territory. Their appearance is often interpreted as a nudge to speak your truth, stand firm in your boundaries, and stay alert to your surroundings, okay? With that said, it's also a very Four of Cups energy kind of a day today, which means that it's going to be very easy to allow yourself to focus on a grass is greener kind of mentality. It's going to be very easy to get sucked into the depression, into the sad feelings, into the nothing is working out the way that I want it. That is not true. That is not true. Allow yourself to sit in the discomfort of today, okay? Do not let yourself get sucked into this, I need to make big, massive changes, okay? Allow yourself to sit in the discomfort. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable for a little bit. Just go through the day doing whatever it is that you need to do in order to change your situation. You need to focus on what you can change, not what you cannot, okay? You cannot force people to behave a certain way. You cannot make people see your side. You can't control the way that people view you. You can only control yourself and what you got going on, okay? With that also said, you're going to feel a calling to higher learning, to exploring, to researching, to studying, to anything, okay? And it's very important that you lean into that. If you're like, oh, I'm curious about this, go on that rabbit hole. Set aside an hour. Allow yourself to deep dive on it. You never know what you're going to find, okay? Pay attention to emails, text messages, people having conversations around you, people just dropping things in your lap, okay? You're going to get a hint, a nudge, some kind of spark, some kind of communication as to a path that you need to be taking, okay? It is extremely important that you do not allow the negative feelings to suck you into a place where you're not being open and keeping your eyes peeled to the things around you, okay? Very, very important. It's going to be very easy to get into a trapped mentality if you allow it. That's not the case, okay? What you need to be doing is just staying alert, staying focused, continue learning, because they're going to be things that start opening up here soon if you allow yourself to switch from a very negative point of view to a very closed off, nothing's working, these relationships aren't working, this job isn't working, my family's not working, whatever it is. Switch the perspective a little bit. It's needed. But at the same time, hold firm boundaries, because people are going to try it, especially if you're shifting your viewpoints a little bit and it's showing outwardly. People tend to panic a little bit. People are very predictable creatures, right? They really, really like consistency. They like to know what's coming. And so when people switch up and they're suddenly different, it can freak people out. Keep that in mind. Also, if you are feeling called to go down a more spiritual path, look into candle gazing, okay? Big thing, especially if you're somebody that is very sensitive to energies, okay? If you're feeling drained, if you're feeling overstimulated especially, look into candle gazing. Allow yourself especially to sit quietly at night, okay? At night, low lights, low noise. Allow yourself to sit in the stillness. There's nothing to fear by allowing yourself to sit in stillness, okay? You're also going to notice that little space right between when you're asleep and you're awake. It is a very brief blip of a moment. So many people bypass it. That is going to be an important time for you, okay? That is going to be when you start getting messages. But here's the thing. This is huge. You have to set the intention for what you're wanting to come in, right? Our brains are very much antennas. They are very receptive, and there's always going to be things coming in and out of there. Make sure that you are tuned to the right one, because if you're not careful, you're going to have little blips of thought pop in that are going to just be anxiety. Ignore it. That little channel right before awaken sleep, that is going to be important. You may even have somebody that comes in that is going to be a very important key player. Set an intention to the universe that only you know about, okay? So that way you can weed through, because there's also going to be falsities coming in, okay? I was getting the Judgment card big in my brain, which Judgment can be a signifier of a blast from the past kind of a thing, okay? Like a very much returning of old energies. It could be a time where it's going to trigger old wounds, things that you're trying to work through, okay? Watch that. Now is not a time to get roped back into things from the past, especially with it being Mercury retrograde. Absolutely not. New experiences only, but you're gonna have to work through that little blast of the past that's going to come back up, because it's going to be very, very important for your forward movement, okay? Very important. This conversation, this situation, this moment, it's going to be something that heals a very traumatic wound around groups for you. It is going to heal a very, very deep-seated subconscious wound that you may not even fully recognize of how impactful it is. This wound is the reason why you tend to attract the same people, the same places, the same experiences over and over and over again, because that same wound is reappearing, so that way you can work on it, okay? That is all this Judgment is, because as soon as that wound gets worked through around groups, okay, you're gonna be able to make a move forward. And here's the thing, is if you know that you have people, situations, things that are wanting to keep you, right? Don't even worry about that, because the Tower is coming for that situation, and it's going to be devastating. But the reason why that popped up is because that is not something you even need to be focused or paying attention to. It's just kind of letting us know that the energy is working through. It's gonna try it. It's gonna try it, but you're highly protected, okay? Blue Jay, highly, highly protected. Good luck.